What's going on everyone, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Jedi Survivor video. And in today's video I'm going to be doing a little bit of speculating about what characters we could see in Jedi Survivor. I just want to say to start off with that none of these are confirmed. This is just purely my own speculation using information that's out there about the Star Wars universe at this time. So if you didn't know, Jedi Survivor does take place at the same time or in the same year as the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series. So with that in mind, the first character I'm going to point out is Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. This is because it does take place around the same time or in the same year as the Kenobi series, and at the end of the Kenobi series, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, Obi-Wan ends up going off with Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn, and it doesn't really explain where they are going or what they're going to be up to. So I feel like this leaves it open to a second season of the Kenobi series, but it also leaves it open to Obi-Wan potentially showing up in Jedi Survivor in some way, shape or form. Maybe not directly, but even just as a sort of background character or even just a simple nod to Obi-Wan, like I said, since it takes place at the same time. With the Kenobi series still in mind, the second character I think that could show up is Reva. Now Reva, again, spoiler alert, did survive the Kenobi series, and at the end of the series, she was seemingly redeemed by sparing a young Luke Skywalker, which left her with the freedom to choose her own destiny, so to say, and forge our own path. We've got absolutely no idea what happened to Reva after Kenobi, because she doesn't show up in any of the material set after the series takes place. Now that makes sense in a way because she was only just brought into the Kenobi series and made up then. So it does leave it completely open for something like Jedi Survivor to introduce her again and let us know what she's been up to since the end of the series. Could Cal end up reconnecting her with the light side of the Force, or could she show up as potentially a bit of a villain? Who knows? The third character I think that could show up is Ahsoka. I think this is unlikely, but Ahsoka seems to always work her way into every single piece of Star Wars media, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see her in the game as a bit of a mentor type figure for Cal. But do I think that that will happen? Not particularly. I think it's unlikely because of what happened at the end of Fallen Order. Vader did attack Seer and Cal. Could the Inquisitors be hunting down those two characters a lot more since the end of that game? I mean, they did break into the Inquisitorial base, blow a hole in the wall and nearly drown Darth Vader, so I think it is likely that the Inquisitors are probably still chasing after Seer and Cal, and I think it might be a bit too much heat for the characters in the game if Ahsoka did show up, but I do think it's still a possibility. The next character I think that could show up is Caleb Dume, or Kanan Jarrus, as he's known to Rebels fans. I think it would be really interesting to see Kanan in Jedi Survivor, because at the time that the game takes place, Kanan and Cal would be around the same age. I think there might be a year's difference between them or something like that, and I think it could be a really interesting insight to see where these two Jedis are at in their own stories when they are around the same age. I'm not really sure where Kanan's at this point in time in the Star Wars universe. Could he have potentially cut himself off from the Force like most Jedi seem to have done since the Purge? And could Cal be the one to get Kanan back on his path, which leads him to joining the Rebel Alliance and the Ghost Crew? Or if Kanan's still connected to the Force, could they just simply team up for a mission? Who knows, but I think it would be cool to see him in the game. Now the final character I think we could see in Jedi Survivor is Darth Maul. Now the reason I say this is Darth Maul is from Dathomir and so is Merrin. I know we went to Dathomir in the first game and there was no sign of Maul at all, but I think that could have been a bit too obvious and a bit too much on the nose. Where in the second game there will be a bit of a connection, or there already is a bit of a connection between Merrin and Maul, since they are both from Dathomir and they are sort of brother and sister, like they tend to call each other, and I'm not really sure what Maul is doing at this point in the Star Wars universe as well. So I think it could be interesting for Respawn to have made the connection between Merrin and Maul, and show us a bit of what Maul has been up to since the Purge happened. We know that in the Solo movie he's the head of the Crimson Dawn, so could we potentially see how that happens, or how Maul gets to be the head of the Crimson Dawn in Jedi Survivor? Who knows, but I think it could be a cool addition to the story if it does happen. And that is my speculation of the 5 characters we could see in Jedi Survivor that haven't been confirmed and haven't been seen in any promotional trailers or images or anything like that. I think they all have some way of linking in with Jedi Survivor, but I just don't know if these sort of big established characters would be put into the game, or if Respawn are going to continue to create new unique characters in the stories that they tell. But please do let me know down in the comment section below which characters you think will show up in Jedi Survivor, and make sure to smash a like on this video to show support for the game on the channel. And if you are new to the channel and you have enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with all Jedi Survivor content. But other than that, we'll see you in the next video.